Good morning, world. Forgive my nasaliness. Little nasal in the morning is not bad, but I just wanted to do something here out of my heart and what I like to do, and that is I like to dispel the case of the Mondays. And so what I want to do is every Monday I want us to get together here as one big family across social media, as we are, most of us are already at work and we're probably already dealing with this. So hopefully I can help you for next week. But anyway, so case of the Monday. So let's just dive into this. So we see that there is this stigma in America, America particularly with this 5-day work week. And this 5-day work week comes from like 1908. Factory culture where you'd Monday through Friday, you'd work hard, and then you have 2 days off on the weekends. And that, they didn't even used to have that. But this idea that we have this dread of the Mondays is something that I've definitely dealt with myself. It's something that I think all of you are dealing with right now. Can I get an amen, John? Amen, John. And so we're just here to kind of work together on this to try to just really dispel this. So this is the weekly segment, No Mo Mundane Mondays. We're not doing mundane anymore. We're gonna take our Mondays back. We're gonna make our Mondays rock. We're gonna make our Mondays just marvelous. That's an M, right? Marvelous Mondays. I don't know. So I was reading an article this morning. It was called "The 6 Simple Habits That Make Mondays Suck Less," and that's from the Muse.com. I think a lot of you have heard of that. It's something that I get alerts on. They got interesting little articles. They got always a different author. I can't really recommend one particular writer for the Muse, but they have little things like this. So this article, 6 Simple Habits That Make Mondays Suck Less. I was reading it this not too long ago, and I liked it. And if you Google right now articles that talk about Mondays not sucking as much. Next Monday, I'm going to introduce you to a book I actually read a while ago that really I thought was awesome. It's a little book, and it's all about Mondays, and it's just great. But this article really caught my attention. So I wanted to do this is a live, so feel free to comment, chat, feel free to ask questions and things. But I really want us to just kind of really quickly unpack this. These are brief segments, and just to kind of put this out there too before we dive too deeply. Go ahead and in the descriptions and everything. I already got yelled at by my good friend Dave, who's a social media guru. But there's some things I need to do differently in terms of maybe more time, making sure that because we do have Leader Life is on YouTube, Leader Life is on Instagram, Leader Life is on Twitter. And the Leader Life aims to motivate, inspire, and encourage the leaders among us. And one of our key mantras is that title doesn't make you a leader. It just doesn't. Leader is something that one chooses to be. It's a calling that they answer. It's elevating those around them. It's all these things. And leaders come in all shapes. They come in all colors. They come in all sizes. They come in all jobs, all industries. Like I've said before, many of you heard this, that if society were to collapse today, even without government and without a financial structure, without jobs to go to, leaders would still be answering that call. Leaders would still be rising up to lead community and to elevate others and to help us rebuild, right? And so everything rises and falls on leadership. Yeah, everything rises and falls on leadership. And we believe that with our whole heart here at the Leader Life. So diving in to 6 simple habits here. And here's the thing. Are they simple? Let's talk about this. Number 1, this one is really convicting to me, and I know a lot of you, and I think that this varies by industry. I really do. I think there's some industries, for example, hospitality industry, where going to bed early is subjective. So what does going to bed early mean? And so the first thing that this article says is going to bed early, and I do agree with that. But I think that this article is written more for the strict 9 to 5 people. I would say that going to bed early is going to bed where you get enough medically suggested rest, so your brain and your body can have a well-rested night's sleep. And so that means that we have to maybe stop binge watching on a Sunday night, even though we want to get euphoria in right before we have to end the weekend. There's also this feeling that I've dealt with too, where Sunday night is like you're holding on to dear life to hang on to the weekend. because you don't want the weekend to end. And as soon as I go to sleep, my head hits that pillow and I go into dreamland, then that means that the weekend's over. And you know what? I want to, if we make it so that Monday, so we have no Mo Monday Mondays, Mundane Mondays. By the way, chat, I want to give you guys, anyone out there who can say that 10 times fast, because I can't. No Mo Mundane Mondays. But getting enough sleep is so important. And so what I used to do, what I still do when I'm fully employed, right, is Sunday night is a rhythm. I have a rhythm meeting with myself. I sit down, whether it's with a cocktail or whether it's with tea or whatever it may be, and I briefly look over my business, not too much, whatever that industry is, right? This is sales leadership I'm talking about. So, in sales leadership, we can drown in our numbers, but I would particularly keep it simple, and I would focus on last week, right? Last week wins, things I thought really happened well, and also things that maybe need to change. Some things that I didn't get to last week that I need to do this week. And so I kind of put my rhythm together. What's my rhythm this week? Not a really hard, concrete schedule, though I have those, right? We have the calls, we have the things that are non-negotiable, the things that we have to do. But we have also these things that we need to schedule them, but we also need to make sure we fit them into our rhythm. And so that's everything from one-on-ones with your team. If you're a leader, it's everything from getting that report done. It's everything, it could be maybe a store visit you need to make, or it's a conversation you need to have, an email you need to write, right? All these things could cover that. But this is a time where we don't get too inundated. Don't use your whole Sunday night starting Monday, but take some time. And that means that you do a rhythm meeting, which actually I'm adding to the article. The article says nothing about that, but getting a good night's sleep is so essential, because the last thing you want to do, the worst thing for a case of the Mondays is being tired, maybe being hungover, right? Or, just not well rested. So I want to encourage you in that. So whatever time early is, I don't know. If you have to be in the office at 8 a.m., well, that's early, right? If you have to be at the restaurant, if you manage a restaurant or bartend or serve, mad props to our hospitality staff, by the way. You guys are warriors. That's going to look differently for you, but make sure you're rested. Let's hit Monday head on. That's what I would say. Let's go to bed early so we can wake up ready to hit Monday head on, because we want no Mo Mundane Mondays, right? The next thing, and this is something that I've heard before, it's all over the place, whether it's supposed to be, I've heard chug in the evening. I've heard chug water when you first wake up. I've heard both. But chugging a glass of water in the morning, and this is something I'm bringing up because I haven't seen this in a lot of articles on Mondays, and there's a lot, like I said, out there. But 75% of Americans right now, adults, suffer from dehydration. Like they're regularly dehydrated, and that's crazy. And that could be me too. And I just had a doctor's appointment last week, and that's one thing you discuss. How's your water intake? I'm like, it varies. How's my coffee intake? Excellent. But my water intake is not so much. So before grabbing that first cup of coffee, and I know, listen, coffee addicts, listen up. I'm not judging you, but you're going to get your coffee. Get that water in first, because that's going to get your body and your metabolism and your chemicals and everything moving. Hydrate is going to, and that affects your brain chemistry. It affects your mood. It affects how you hit those Mondays. How do you deal with a case of the Mondays? By being well rested and getting and being hydrated. And it's kind of like going into a workout. And those of you, I got mad respect for you. Those of you who wake up in the morning and you do a workout, I need to join you. And if anyone can offer me some motivation and help me, but I think it really comes from, I got to be motivated here. If you can help me do that. But those of you that do that, you are on that. You usually get rested. You're up early, way before the office opens, right? You're hydrated. You got probably you not only water, but your pre-workout, and you got your protein bar, you got your recovery. All that's happening before the office. And if anyone has noticed those people, I have a really good friend, Merrick, who that's him. Like when I see him in the office, I know he's already been up for hours. He's already worked out. He's already done this. Like, they are just energetic and chipper. And sometimes for those of us who maybe aren't on that page yet, they can be annoying, a little too much in the morning, a little too chipper, a little too happy. But we need to join that. Let's be like them in terms of making sure we get our rest and making sure that we're hydrated. And if anyone, and I don't know what you think about that. Has anyone had that experience? Have you ever thought about the fact that, man, my level of hydration can affect the intensity level of my case of the Mondays, right? The next thing we want to do is, and this is interesting because this is something that is a very controversial. There's entire books on this. They are leaders. They're celebrity leadership speakers and experts that are split on this issue, and that is the issue of meetings. And meetings are so important. I don't hate meetings. I think meetings are very important, but I think there's also a big majority of meetings that happens, particularly in the corporate world, that are not well done. They're just not. They're if we meet together, if we go through the energy of coming together to meet and spending time and energy to that over something that could have been said in an email, I don't think that's a good meeting. I think it's a waste of time and creative juices and energies. This is not an episode or a segment on meetings per se, but this issue, avoiding morning meetings on Mondays. And it seems like Mondays would be a great time to have a meeting. My recent experience in my last career was, almost 4 years was a early morning Monday meeting. That's how you started the week. And it makes sense to do that. But my feeling, and I agree with the author here, is that on a Monday, there's just a better time to do that meeting. And here's why. The author, if you muse.com, again, we're looking at 6 simple habits that make Mondays suck less. I like the title. I would say 6 simple habits that make your Mondays rock, maybe a little bit more. But bottom line is that the science behind this on this point is that this author brings up that Monday mornings are actually one of the most creative times in terms of how our brains work. It's actually a time when we're most kind of dialed in. This author brings up the example that they actually write an entire article on Monday mornings before they check their email, before they follow up on calls, before they do any kind of meetings. That's what they're doing, alone creative juices. And I've experienced that myself. I've experienced that myself, where Monday mornings are just a time where, especially if I'm getting rested, especially if I'm hydrated. And now that I'm hydrated, I have permission to get my coffee and I'm feeling good. That's a really good time for me to really dive in and work on, things that are creative. And creative is important. When I say creative, I'm not just talking about our graphic designers and our social media. I'm not just talking about our artists and our musicians. I'm talking to accountants. I'm talking to sales leaders. I'm talking to directors. I'm talking to VPs. I'm talking to CEOs, because imagination and creativity are key to a successful business. They're key to a great day. Imagination lack of imagination is why Kodak lost the digital camera race, even though they were the first to develop that technology, right? I would say lack of imagination is why Blockbuster wasn't able to make the pivot, even though they were in a prime place to beat Netflix to where Netflix is today, right? And so we have these examples of businesses in my own life. I know that there are days when, man, if I would have just been thinking more and taking more time for imagination, taking more time for thought and meditation, taking more time to be creative, I would have maybe handled the situation differently. I would have maybe seen success in that situation. And so I just want to encourage you guys in that. Not encourage you in that. Do your thing. But I am under the opinion that meetings need to be they don't need to be too frequent. They need to be intentional. They need to be to the point. And they also need to be a dialogue and a conversation, not just an information dump, right? And we can read that. I can hear that on a video. I can get a dump from your email. So this is just something that this author says, though. In order for us to battle the case of the Mondays, we need to avoid Monday meetings. And I don't know what y'all think about that. I know that's controversial. I know Michael Hyatt actually has a whole book on how to have an effective meeting. That's awesome. And I'll bring that up maybe one of these Mondays, but he talks about that too, about good times. It's not just what you're meeting content. It's also about the time and the rhythm and when there's a right season, I think he says, to have a meeting. And that's because meetings are so important. If they weren't important, we'd just be willy-nilly and do them whenever. But they're too important for that. We need to be more intentional, I believe. All right. Next here is, and we're almost done, there's 6. Start with something productive. And this goes along hand in hand. So instead of having that Monday morning meeting, start with something productive. And this is where that author also brings in, hey, again, I write an entire article Monday mornings. And I find this to be, Mondays, waking up, having my water first. I got to tell myself that, 'cause I'm terrible at that. My water, then my coffee, and reading or writing. I have, the blog's been launched, www.leaderlife.org. There's not a lot of content there yet that I've released, but blogs are waiting to be released on that site. And a lot of those blogs, without me being intentional, because me being more open with my time this month and me just finding my natural rhythm, have been in the mornings. In the mornings before I do most of anything, has been being able to write and type and do those things. So I think that starting your day like that, when you're freshly rested, your mind's awake, you're hydrated, right? You're well rested, you're feeling good, you have a good energy. That's a great time to do something productive, and instead of just rushing into that email or rushing into that meeting. And a lot of you don't have a choice, right? A lot of you don't decide when your director, when your boss, when your manager is scheduling meetings. So I understand that, but think about this. Still, there are ways still to take our power, back, or to be able to still be creative, to be able to still be our efficient, most productive, because nobody knows you like you, right? Nobody knows how you learn. Nobody knows how you think. Nobody knows how you feel like you do, right? You ultimately work for you. Like, you might work for a company and have a title, and good for you, and that's great, and the bills are paid, but you can choose whenever you want to go somewhere else, right? So you work for you, and that's another actually blog that I'm just about to release. So let me not go too far on that, but you work for you. You have to do what's best for your why. You have to, and so start with something productive. And going into something, starting with your why, number 5, I really like. You want to make Mondays better. You want to have no Mo Mundane Mondays. I can't even say it once. You need to do something you enjoy. And now what that means is, and I just had a talk with my son about this. Life isn't always about doing something you like. It's not always about having fun. Most of the things you want in life are on the other side of hard. This is where relentless effort is so key. Relentless effort is so important. It's not more important than alignment. It's not more important than culture. But man, if you really want to get to where you want to be, you need to be relentless. But on the other side of that, and the best way for you to be relentless, the best way for you to be equipped and conditioned to do that grind, to do that work, is to have that time of doing what you enjoy. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I'm not expecting a lot of feedback. I'm not expecting a lot, and I don't care. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. This is what I enjoy. This is relaxing. This is a release. This is a time when I actually get to voice what I think about leadership. And it's something that I love and I'm passionate about. Doing something I enjoy on a Monday. This is a great Monday for me. This is not a mundane Monday. And I hope that for every single person on the planet. I want everyone to have amazing Mondays. I want everyone to have an amazing spring to their step as they start their new week. That's what I want. So doing something you enjoy can be, that class you want to take, maybe that art class, evening art class, dance, maybe that hobby you enjoy. Maybe it's going to the driving range or the shooting range, or maybe it's, clay or whatever it may be. Time with your kids, take them to the park. Or it could be, like what I like is when teams get together on Mondays, Monday after work, they hit up happy hour together, or they spend time together outside of work, decompressing together. That's so good for a team. I think that's a good way for a team to find alignment. We used to do that in my most previous position. We did that like one Friday a month. We do a happy hour, but man, maybe we should have done it on Mondays, right? Because Mondays were very busy. Days with a lot of meetings and a lot that needs to get done. Of course, you're starting a new week in a high performance sales environment. There's a lot going on. Man, I could have really used the happy hour with some good company on those Mondays. So just find what you enjoy and find a way to fit it into your Mondays. Find a way to fit it. Have everyone, I assume, has seen that movie, The Office, Office Space. And one of my favorite parts of Office Space, I might get with some friends of mine who can help me with this, but maybe the intro to this segment would be a little bit of that, where the question is asked, hey, has anyone ever told you? And he's an office guy talking to his neighbor who works in construction. And he's like, hey, has anyone ever told you, sounds like you got a case of the Mondays? And the construction worker's like, what? He's like, taken back by it, like disgusted by the question. Like, no one, matter of fact, if you said that where I work, you probably get beat up. You probably get hit for saying something like that. That's just absolutely ridiculous. And so this kind of stigma to Mondays, this case of the Mondays, this thing that we have, we don't have to have it. You can actually have a very great Monday. You can have a positive, really great thing. So find a way to battle that case of the Mondays. No Mo Mundane Mondays by doing something you enjoy. Fit that class in, fit that happy hour in, fit that, that hobby. Do it. Make sure and be real intentional about it. I'm pretty sure you'll see, not that Mondays will be your favorite day of the week. I'm not saying that. I mean, I love Wednesdays. I love Fridays, Mondays, but Monday can be up there. It can move up the rank in terms of what days you like. And number 6, now this one, I rolled my eyes a little bit. I'm going to be honest, but I read it more and I thought about it more. And then I thought about my own framework teachings, my own training that I do with my leaders, and it fits. And that is find time to smile. One of my favorite authors is a Puritan. I know Puritans but this Puritan's actually really a kind of a happy-go-lucky, very unique guy. But he writes that emotions are great, but do not let them drive the ship. Right? Emotions are needed. Without emotion, we are not going anywhere. We are not productive. Without emotion, we can't sense around us. Without taking, I'm a big, I got a lot of great responses from you all actually, because I really believe we need to normalize mental care. Like we need to be able to, we need to be as someone that not suffers. I don't like to use that word. As someone that deals with anxiety myself, I'm most effective when I'm able to operate within my anxiety. When I'm able to do whatever I need to do to still operate and be effective, and handle it. And there's a lot of corporate office settings that don't support that, and that's unfortunate. And so that's something that really needs to. I'm going to be more vocal about that as I have some things coming out on that with my own journey and journeys of those around me. And it's just so big. It's so out there. It needs to be normalized. Mental self-care. But anyway, but smiling. So going back to your emotions and whatever you're feeling, even if you're not feeling it. I used to tell my leaders this. Listen, there's nothing wrong when it comes to, especially when you're leading a team and you're a leader, to smile, even if you don't feel like it. You got to fake it till you make it. And it's very hard. It's true. It's very hard. If you're smiling, it's hard to stay in that funk. There's something about just pushing forward. I know it sounds kind of weird, but pushing forward to get to the emotion you want. And also making sure that, because you have leader, your team depends on you. They do. Your team depends on you to be the best leader you can be. And they need you to set the tone emotionally. They need you to set the tone, psychically or mentally. They need you to set the tone and the culture, the pace, speed of the leaders, speed of the team. And that starts with a smile. That starts with the positive affirmations. That starts with, and you might not be feeling it. So what I used to tell my leaders is go look yourself in a mirror, get your Starbucks, get your energy drink. As we learned today, maybe you didn't get that glass of water, because if you're not hydrated, it's hard to smile because your body's feeling all sorts of things. But get your mind right, because your time as a leader needs to be high impact, and you need to have a good impact. You need to have a good impression and influence on your team. So smile, but also more than that, it'll make you feel better. Smile on a Monday. Don't enter into Monday thinking, man, great, it's Monday. Like, you got to turn that around. Like, you need to be positive. You need to have an optimism. You need to understand that, hey, you've been through, how many Mondays have you made it through in your life? You probably can't count. You could do the math, right? How many Mondays have you made it through in your life? You'll get through this one. You'll get through. Matter of fact, you can not just get through. You can't. You can do more than survive Monday. You can thrive on a Monday. Like you can lift it up. You can elevate. You can have the greatest Monday that you've ever had today. You can do it. You can. And it starts with thinking that way. It starts with deciding, making that decision to be the best leader you can be, to make a decision to have the best Monday that you've ever had, and makes that decision to tell your brain to move these muscles here and smile. Just that. Smile. Smiling makes and also on a side tip, leader, smiling is so important when you're coaching. It's so important, especially when you're coaching like a performance issue or a behavior issue. If it's a difficult conversation, don't smile unsincerely, but just letting your face show, hey, listen, this isn't a personal attack. This isn't. You're valuable. I care about you, but we definitely need to fix this. And smiling also is so big in closing the sale. Like when a customer is giving you a few objections, when a customer is giving you a few no's, I tell my team, the more objections I'm getting from the customer, the bigger my smile gets, because I'm going to ask them, I'm going to try to overcome this objection. We're going to have that conversation. I call it a family discussion with your customer. But smile. That's a way to, how can we make our Mondays rock? We're going to be a people and a leadership community and family that smiles on a Monday. And how crazy would that be? You're going to, now you might be the crazy person, right? Like, why is he smiling now? And like, what's wrong with him? Right. But hey, Lewis, you do your thing. Be crazy, be wild, because we're taking back Mondays. No Mo Mundane Mondays. We are going to start our week off fresh with a spring. We are the leaders. Others love to follow. We're going to lead the very best that we can possibly lead. We're going to love our team with everything that we are. And we are going to completely crush it today. You're going to crush it today. No Mo Mondays for you. You are going to have an amazing rock star Monday. That's what you're going to do. Right. And so thank you, team. That's it. Thank you for spending a little bit less than 30 minutes with me as we discuss this article. I'd love the feedback. What do you guys think of this kind of setup as we go through different things together? I do have a plan next week. There's a little book all about Mondays and making them not suck. He has some really cool points in there from his experience. I think I'm going to bring that. But let me know what you think about No Mo Mundane Mondays. Does it need to be shorter? Do I need to change it up? Do I need to just scrap it? Does it suck? Are you sitting there on a Monday like, man, I don't need this on a Monday? Let me know. I appreciate it. Check out Leader Life on YouTube, Leader Life on Instagram, Leader Life on Twitter. And of course, yours truly, John Howell. Thank you so much. Have an amazing Monday.